That's interesting. Sorry about that. YouTube sent me a message, apparently. Anyways, Tom here, Flip Anything USA. I'm in the hot tub, just relaxing. I'm just looking at the news. I talked to some of my tenants yesterday. Listen, I'm so comfortable and so glad. I can tell you what. How much money have I lost in stocks? Zero. How much money have I lost in real estate this year? Or really ever? I lost once about 30 years ago. Zero. Real estate is the number one safest investment you can make if you know what you're doing. The problem is most people don't know what they're doing. And a lot of people are underwater right now. But on the stock end of it, I was laughing, just thinking to myself, you've got the Sam Bankman-Fried that's lost an enormous amount of money. We don't even know exactly how much. Through fraud. Cathy Woods, Cathy Woods lost maybe as much, legitimately. So here you've got somebody that's lost everyone's ass legitimately, and somebody that's lost everyone's ass fraudulently. And what do they have in common? Stock. And people trying to get rich quick and buying into the bullshit. And, that's the thing. People that want to get rich are the easiest to take advantage of. I see it all the time with all the fake gurus in real estate. And anyways, I think I'm going to go ahead and do a little more videos on some of that. Just because it's just so blatant. And nobody can deny it. A friend of mine told me yesterday, he said, Tom, he goes, I jumped in with Cathy Wood, and he goes, I lost 73%. 73%. And then I just looked up a little while ago to see, and I can't remember the news source, but anyhow, they were reporting 60 to 80% loss. In fact, they were saying her entire portfolio lost money, that even there's like nothing that actually made money. That's really terrible, right? How bad is that? So anybody out there throw any money at that stuff? I've been, critical of. I've said for years. I've never told anybody to invest in stocks ever, because I've never seen anybody make as much money with real estate compared to stocks. It's just terrible. You guys are excited about doubling your money. People in my class in my mentorship, 10 times their money sometimes in a single year, even more. I've got an interview coming out here shortly. You're going to see, because I've got a new real estate immersion program coming, by the way, and I'm going to do a video on this. By the way, if you're just new here, please hit subscribe, and you want to see this. I have a thing that I call a real estate barbell. It's a coin I phrased because everywhere I've ever lived, this is in California, Texas, I've created what I call a real estate barbell. It's in my book. If you don't have my book, get my book. Wake Up and Smell Real Estate. It's nothing. The $10 you lose on my book is nothing compared to probably what you lost on, Cathy Woods or some of these other fake gurus that, were supposedly smarter than everybody else. But what I was going to say is, the money made. I've made millions of dollars here just in the last year, and that's even with a drop. I would have made a little bit more if things would have stayed where they are. But that's fine. To be honest, it hasn't affected my bottom line at all. In other words, my cash flow is the same. My rents are still coming in. I'm 100% occupied. I got one little tiny vacancy. So it's so little that it's not even 1% of my portfolio. That's how little it is. So I can say, rounding up, I'm 100% occupied. Anyways, but those of you watching, I just wonder, what do you think? What do you think of Cathy Wood? What do you think of, the millennial, what's the millennial group, Millennial Money? I think those guys had to close their channel because they'd taken so much, In other words, you've got, and this is why you don't see me collaborate with anybody. I've had Ben Mala on my podcast in my mentorship because he's the real deal. Ben's the real deal. And I quickly recognize that because I'm the real deal. And unless you have expertise and experience, you really don't know what's bullshit. You know what I mean? Grant Cardone, bullshit. Chris Crone, bullshit. Neither one of those guys could teach you how to invest in real estate to anywhere near the degree that I can or Ben Mullen could. It's not even close. Those guys are salesmen, but not real estate investors. I mean, I'm not saying they don't invest in real estate. The kind of investing they do, to me, is worthless. They buy retail apartment buildings and buy retail housing. Anybody can do that. The difference is you're the target, you're the money. They get the money from you to invest with them. It's silly. It's silly, but people gobble it up, and and then you make a piece of money on the fund. So I don't know. I may even create a fund myself, just because I don't know anybody that makes as much money as I do as an investor. Then I don't know what dollars on a single purchase. That's a home run. That's a home run. Now I don't. He told me, I'd have to go back and watch my video. If you get a chance, watch the video that I did that includes Ben Mullen. There's only one, and that's I've actually where Ben came in and talked to the class. Anyways, again, I feel sorry for the people that lost their ass, but it's kind of your greed that gets you in that position when you throw money at people that really have no expertise or no basis for and I don't know exactly Cathy Wood's whole story, but it's really just common sense, and that's what most people lack. And so the good thing is, if you're out there and you have common sense, it doesn't matter. You don't need an education. I mean, you just need what I teach you, what you'll learn in my book, and what you'll learn in my class and my mentorship. You're not going to get in any school. There is no school that does it. But anyways, back on that deal. I was going back and I was looking at my real estate barbell. And those of you that don't know what it is, go watch my video on real estate barbells. I got a new one coming up too, because I actually laid out and kind of illustrated my real estate barbell, my actual barbell, and it's impressive. It's really cool. And so I realized there's so much value in me if I were to hold a seminar here locally. Of course, I don't really want to teach everybody around me how to invest because I don't need the competition in my local area. But if I held a seminar here and took people in from other states, you could fly in. I mean, I could literally do a 2-day tour. I could teach you so much about buying land, buying acreage, developing, rezoning, developing a number of different kinds of properties, apartment buildings, retail, industrial, flex space, office space, millions. I've made millions of dollars on apartments. I've made millions of dollars on raw land. I've made millions of dollars on houses, millions of dollars on commercial properties, millions of dollars on office buildings, millions of dollars on apartment buildings. I mean, everything. There's really, I can't think of a class of property I haven't made millions of dollars on now. And that's the kind of experience that is why my students are so successful, because depending on where they're at, and I mean geographically where they're at and what's going on in their community, they can take advantage of all the things that I've taken advantage of in my own community. And not all of those opportunities, I mean, different opportunities come up sometimes at different times, but there's always a number of opportunities. Don't get me wrong, there's always a number of opportunities. But you could do it with everything I just listed. Residential, commercial, industrial, offices, raw land, large acreage, small lots, all of that you could do it. And I realized I could conduct a class just locally. And I take a tour bus and I could take you around and I'll show you the apartment buildings I made millions of dollars on. I'll show you the land I made millions of dollars on. I'll show you the houses I've made millions of dollars on. And I'll show you, there's little tips and tricks. There's a lot of clever stuff that goes on that I can teach an investor. So what do you think a class is like that worth? What do you think could be worth it to you to come hang out with me for 2 days and for talk in a group? I mean, it'll be a pure let's get you set to make money for the rest of your life. What would that be worth to you? Because I see people getting, they'll pay $10,000 to $30,000 for horse shit, at a seminar. But I'd be curious if anybody's interested in that. Tom at flipanythingusa.com. Tom at flipanythingusa.com. And I've already got people in the mentorship that are anxious that they would like to participate in that, but they're already in the club. And and like I say, if you go look at the testimonials of the people in my mentorship, tens of thousands to millions of dollars made, and that's just in the last 2.5 years that I've been mentoring. I don't know anybody that has as good a record. I'm talking, look, Chris Crone, Grant Cardone. In fact, I'd love to debate either one of them. Compare our portfolios, compare our student success. There's no comparison with those guys, but it would be interesting to have that, But anyways, back to my question. So what would that be worth, a total immersion program? And you're going to see a great video. By the way, hit subscribe if you just get here. Apparently, most of my followers work, and so they're either at work or they're getting ready for work. And like I say, I don't have the most followers. People say, Tom, you should have 10 times, 20 times more followers. Well, it's because I'm not entertainment for the millionaire voyeur, okay? If you're a millionaire voyeur, hey, hang out, no problem. But if you're somebody that actually wants to be a millionaire, that wants to make a lot of money in real estate, that understands that, success, and that's why I have a lot of self-employed people too. You know why? They understand business. They understand that knowledge is power. A lot of doofuses out there that don't know. I'm talking about people that, there's so many people that have so little common sense, they don't even think about the future. They just don't think about the future. Look, it's never too late to start thinking about the future. You may fall into that group, and I'm sorry if it hurts, but I'm telling you, it's never too late. You can get in and you could make, I got guys that, a modest amount of money, that have made $1 million in the last year and a half, and now they're millionaires. What a difference a year makes for Rich Ferradino, for look, I got Liam, I got Eric, I got Ken, he's up there, he's my age, and he's been around a while, and he's been in real estate a while. He's in the class. That's one of the other things, is you'll see I've got some really smart people in my class. It's not beginners. It's not all beginners. I have a lot of people. You get in my class, you're really lucky if I accept you, because when you get in my mentorship, there's already smart people in there, and everybody's just getting even smarter, and it's a beautiful thing. So anyways, sun is up, and I'm probably going to head back to the quarry. If you didn't see my quarry video, check that out. They're actually going to stack some rock. You can see this is stuff I did probably 20 years ago, but I'm going to do some really, really great stonework on one of my other projects. So if you're interested in that sort of thing, check it out later. But really, this channel is really for people that really want to make hundreds of thousands of dollars, tens of millions of dollars, whatever. You can do it. I've done it, and my skill is experience. And that's what you learn from me, is you get to learn from my experiences, and that's what will take you far and shortcut you to success faster than anything else. But anyways, hey, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and look, I'm probably going to go get rid of a bunch of my videos, by the way, and just kind of concentrate. I do a lot of stuff like this because it's because I'm lazy. I figure if you can't pick the gems out of what I'm discussing, then this probably channel isn't for you anyways. But the good thing is there's just so much to talk about, and sometimes I know I ramble a bit, but there's plenty of people out there that'll tell you that there's just so many gems in the stuff that I share. But when you get into the mentorship, it's concentrated. It's not just rambling thoughts. It's not me jumping around so much. In some of the videos, obviously, I've done some good work on that stuff, but I don't know. It's just painful to watch. I'm just telling you, it's terrible. And I know things are going to get really tough for a lot of people, but there's going to be a lot of opportunities coming. There's so much money that's out there to be made. And look at how. Just think about this. When a fox or a wolf, which you don't want to really compare ourselves to wolves, but what do when they find prey, broken leg or whatever? They tear it up and eat it. And that's what's coming. There's going to be a lot of people that are broken, and I'm talking about their property's gone back to the bank, and you're going to buy it for peanuts. People that led people off a cliff in real estate investments, and they're going belly up with their funds. I think we're going to see some of that. So I'm just telling you, I can already smell the blood. It's not hard to see, and I have a good relationship with all my bankers, and they're tightening up really tight. And when you see the jobs are going down, and even with all the jobs that are disappearing, people still can't find good help. Think about that. You can't find good help. It's hard to find good help everywhere. It's the number one complaint with all of my tenants is they can't find good help. How sad is that? People are unemployed. People are we got people pouring into this country from 30 different countries over the Mexican border, and we got all these mouths to feed off our tax dollar. And what's unbelievable is how many people are on some form of welfare in this country. I mean, all kinds of college degreed folks. They found, and that's one of the reasons I think why people aren't showing up for jobs, is they don't have to work. They figured out a way to get by with government assistance, whether it's food and insurance paid. If you homeschool your kids, there's thousands of dollars for them for that too, which I wouldn't blame anybody for keeping their kid out of a lot of the public schools. But anyways, I don't know. Anyways, thanks for listening, and we'll see y'all later.